Coming to here, the first unit point of view, I just give the review of the first unit. So we having the basic structure of an computer system. So under the first one is then you are all know the how the software will going to run. So through the hardware help, we are going to running the software. So you can ask the doubt, what is an hardware, what is an software? Hardware is nothing but then we are using an electronic device will be comes under the hardware point of view. So in their apps we are going to running now, we call as an that one is an software. We having single electronic device. In that electronic device, we can run the more than one app. Yes or no? And next coming to the next one is an definition of an computer architecture. Na? So computer architecture is a set of rules and methods to describe the functionality and organization implementation of an computer system. So it will going to defining the set of rules and methods to describe the functions and organizing and implementation of an computer system. So you are all know there what is the textbook we are going to using for the computer architecture, Karl Hamscher. So the basic textbook is an Karl Hamscher. So next coming to the first topic is an first topic of the first unit is an eight ideas. What are the eight ideas we have in Moore's law abstraction to simplify design? Common case first and performance via parallelism, performance via pipelining, performance via prediction, memory hierarchy, and dependability via redundancy. The first one is then Moore's law, and then simply to design. What are defining the first three is the each and every time the generation changes will be coming now. So our technology must and should be support the new technologies. And next one is then parallelism for the to run a software or to work the software Firstly, purpose now we using the parallelism. If any conflict will be occur now, that one will be solving by using an pipelining. And next one is predicting the problems. So parallelism, pipelining, prediction both will go into improving the performances. And next one is a memory hierarchy. And next one is dependability via redundancy. These are all the our eight that means of eight ideas for implementation. And next coming to the we are moving to this is the main architecture of the computer system. So first of all, input data will go into the existing. The input data will go into moving now. The output will go into generating. In between, we having the central processing unit. Central processing unit will maintaining the control unit and logic unit, and then memory unit. These three will be existing in CPU. So this is one of the representation of an how the devices will be existing inside the GPU. And coming to the types of the software point of view, we having the system software, other one is an application software. So first of all, you know the what is a system software. So under the system software point of view, we having the operating system, assembler, linker, locator, interpreter, compiler, debugger. So these are all the basic things for an electronic device. To run a device, we must and should be near the system software. OS is nothing but a different software where supporting purpose we need the OS. And you are all know the assembler and linker and locator, interpreter, compiler and debugger. And next coming to the application software point of view, we having the different types of applications. One is a word processing, spreadsheet, image editor, DBMS, and also you take the you having any other labs now, Java, C, so all also becomes under the application software only. And next coming to the technology. The processor and memory are now available at a better price than olden days. The processor and memory have improved at incredible rate of computers are designed better every time. So on the defining what is a technology, what is the word of the technology. The previous days we have in the first generation and next converted to the second generation and coming to the third generation. Each and every time the generation will go into the changing. Up today we are going to using the 5G and then next we have moved to the 6G. So these are the each and every time the generations is changing. Generation is changing. It's nothing but a technology will be the changing. So in 1951 we have in the vacuum tube. 65 we have in the transistor. 75 we have in the integrated circuits. 1995 we have in the VLSI integrated circuit. And 2013 we are going to using the ultra large scale VLSI. We are going to the using. So in this way how the technologies will go into the changing day by day by using this thing we can define. And next coming to the performance point of view. Performance is an important attribute in a computer. Yes, by using the performance only, we can define that electronic device will be running fastly or not. So, how we are going to find out the performance now? Execution time is also referred to as in response time. How we are going to define in performance based on the execution time? Simply, execution time is nothing but an here response time. So, reduction in a response time increases the throughput. So how we are going to find out the performance now? Performance equal to the 1 by execution time. Both are inversely proportional. So in this way we are going to find out the performance if two electronic devices will go into the running A and B. How we can going to find out the performance now? Which one will going to providing the good performance now? Which one will having the less execution time? That system will going to have the good performance. Next, moving to the so based on the CPU execution time, so how can find the CPU execution time based on the CPU clock cycle per rate? We are going to find out the CPU execution time. So CPU execution time is nothing but an response time. Based on that one, we are going to find out the performance matrix. So here, how can find out the CPU clock cycle time? So see, CPU execution time is measured in terms of the clock cycle. It measured as a clock cycle per second. CPU execution time for a program equal to the CPU clock cycles per a program into clock cycle per time. So simply, one clock cycle time is equal to the one divided by the clock rate. So, for example, they given one of the example here. See, computer A runs a program in 12 seconds in the 3 gigahertz of an clock cycle, and we have to design a computer B such that it can run the same program in 9 seconds. What they defining? Same program, but A will going to take as in 12 seconds, B will be taken as in 9 seconds, and then for how many clock cycles will be taken now for the program A, 3 gigahertz of the clock cycle, and they determine the clock rate of the B, computer B, how much clock rate will be taken. Assume that due to the increase in clock rate, CPU design in a computer B is affected. It requires 1.2 times as many as clock cycles of a computer A. So, how many times it will go into the bigger than 1.2 times compared to the computer A? So CPU clock cycle of A, CPU clock rate of B, we can calculate it. And the solution for this one is an CPU clock cycle is equal to the 36 into 10 power 9 clock cycle. Clock rate equal to the 4.8 clock cycles per second. And simply basic performance equation is then T equal to the N into CPI divided by R. N equal to the number of instruction, CPI equal to the CPU clock cycles instruction count. R equal to the clock rate year per second. And last one is an power wall. Running and processor in a high clock speed allows to perform the better performance when compared to the power supply and heat to generate. So what is an power wall? P equal to the CV2 of F. C equal to the capacity of an loading. V equal to the voltage applied. S equal to the running frequency. So next coming to the instruction point of view. So under the instruction point of view, so I can explain with by using of an MAPS instruction. We take the example of an MAPS instruction, then we can easily understand. So see here we move to the MAPS instruction point of view. So this today's topic is that MAPS programming. So under the MAPS programming, I'm going to sharing. See, this is the MAPS programming today's topic. So after now we see the introduction of the first unit and next move to the MAPS programming. And so here, so in this one we are going to find out the how programming will going to do under the machine instruction point of view. And next one is an addressing mode. So first one is then we know the what is an assembly level language. So here mission level language is nothing but an assembly level language, nothing but an low level language. So we to command a computer we must understand the two things. One is an instruction, another one is an instruction set. So what is an instruction? The word in a computer language we call as an instruction. Instruction set is nothing but an vocabulary of a computer language. Instruction indicate the performance. To perform the operands can be used in the form of one is an mission level language, another one is an assembly level language. So what is an assembly level language? Human readable format instruction we call it an assembly language. So computer readable format is then we call it a mission level language. It's nothing but an ones and zeros. Now the MAPS architecture point of view, so who will develop it? These are all things by the John Henry at in the year of 1980. So by using the commercial system elements will be used. Next, moving to the so see here. First we know the what is an operand in the register. Main memory is then very slow. Most architectures have a small set of registers and MIPS having the 32-bit register. So if it is having the two 32-bit register, now it will be taken as a 64-bit register. The MIPS is called as an 32-bit architecture because it operates on 32-bit data. So we taken as a 232-bit now simply we call it as a 64-bit version MIPS. Next moving to the so how the registers will go into the finding out. Listen, we will one this one is a very important one. So how the registers will go into the finding out. So first one we having the dollar of zero is the register. So this is the register number is in zero. So what is this one usage of this dollar zero? The constant value of the zero will be taken can be represented in the form of the dollar of zero. And next one is in dollar of 80. The value of the number is in one. It's an assembly temporary register. Assembly temporary register. And V0 to V1 will be taken as an 2 to 3 number register and procedure will be written values. And next A0 to A3 will be taken as an 4 to 5 procedure arguments. And next coming to the we having the T0 to T7 is nothing but an temporary. And S0 to S7 we having the saved variables and T8 to T9 will having the more temporary registers and K0 to K1 will having the operating system temporary and GB is nothing but a global pointer, SP is a stack pointer, SP for a frame pointer and RA for the register written address. And coming to the here, so too much memory will go into fitting by using of an 32-bit register. And see here how under the mission level language point of view, we having the mission level under the mission level language point of view, we having the so how the mission level language will be represented by using the ones and zeros. So it will be represented in the 32-bit instruction. So here we having the three types of instructions. One is an R type instruction, I type instruction, and next one is an J type instruction. So under the R type instruction, we how much memory we going to the allocating. So totally we are going to take an SN 32 bits. So how the bits will be divided? The first 6 bits will be taken as an function. So if you taken as a function together, the opcode function tells the computer what operation to be performed. And next one is an H amount, shift amount, how many bits will be the shifted, RD for the destination, RT for the transfer, we taken as an here, register transfer, and RS for a source register. So in this way, OP for an operation, which operation we are going to use it. So this is the R-type instruction we define. So under the R-type instruction, we have in the assembly code. For example, we take in as an addition and subtraction. Two registers are the taken, S1 and S2. So S1 and S2 will go into the adding and then we'll go into storing into the S0 here. So which one will go into acting as an here destination? S0 will go into acting as the destination here. And then T0 will go into acting as the destination. So and next coming to the here. And next R type, next we have the I type instructions. I type instructions will be nothing but an here. We taken as an only. Same it also having the 32-bit, but immediate bits will be immediate operations will be comes under the R type. So we taken as an 16-bit for the immediate and remaining source and destination purpose we taken as an RS and RT and last operation for the 6 bit. And last we having the J type. So 26 bits for the address and then last 6 bits for the operation. So we can see some examples now, then we can easily understand. So I'm taking as some of the examples here. Allow a program to execute the instruction out of sequence. So we I taken as an two types of instructions. One is an conditional branches, other one is an unconditional branches. Conditional branches purpose we have in the branch if equal, branch if not equal. So conditional branches it's nothing but an I type instructions. So and next coming to the unconditional branches is nothing but an J type instruction. Under the J type we have in the jump register, jump and link register. So you remember these are all things. Whenever they came now, so where we are going to jump register will go into the using, where we are going to using the jump and link will be used. So first of all, storing the program purpose, we taken as an how data will go into the store. So first of all, I've taken as an load. So last class I explained the what is a load and store. So load is an data moving from the memory to the register and store is an data moving from the register to the memory. So first of all, I'm taking as a load operation. I'm going to moving the data from it's not that means of constant bit of the zero, but address of that bit is then 32. So you are all know the how 32 will become. It's 32 divided by 4 now. So the bit how many bits will going to accept here? So minimum 7 bits will go into the representing. So I'm going to storing into the T2 and next coming to the add. I'm going to adding the S2, S1. I'm going to placing into the S0 bit and add immediately. So here the value will be taken constant value is that 12. So whenever the here directly we are going to accessing the 12 value from the accumulator now taken as an 12 and then I'm going to adding the A3 and 12 and then I'm going to placing into the T0 temporary register. So in this way I'm going to storing the data values. So this is the simple example I given as an how data will go into the storing. And next coming to the, I'm taken another example for the conditional branching. How the conditional branching will go into the existing. You remember the here label. So label is an indicated the instruction location in a program. They cannot use for a reserved word and must be followed by the caller. Remember, you in the place of the target, I'm taken as an label one, label two, label three. Like that, I'm going to the indicate. So first example, I'm taken as an adding the two constant value with then 4. I'm going to placing into the same X not register. Same I'm going to doing the adding the constant value and then 1 storing in the S1. And again, I'm going to doing the shift left operation. Are you all remember SLR, SLL, SLL for the shift left operation? So I'm going to doing the shift left. How many bits I'm going to shifting the S1? I'm going to be shifting the 2 bits. So again, the new generated bit I'm going to placing into the here S1 only. After then, I'm going to checking out the branch equal. If branch is equal now, then I'm going to doing the operation is an add a and then subtraction. If branch is not equal now, I'm going directly to the label condition. So I will explain here. See the first condition. See here MAPS language point of view. I'm going to add I. So under the add I purpose here, what I'm going to take in 4 plus. So dollar of S naught comma dollar of 0 comma 4. What is the representation of this one? What's the meaning of this one? See here first statement. So the statement representation is an dollar of S naught equal to the 0 plus 4. I'm going to adding the constant value 0 and 4. I'm going to placing that newly existed input will be here 4 only. So the statement, the first statement is then completed. Move to the second statement. Under the second statement also same having the dollar of s1 comma dollar of 0 comma 1 is there. So I'm going to adding the 0 and 1. I'm going to placing into the in the s1 register. Same. And next coming to the applying the shift left operation. So how many bits I'm going to shifted? S1 is then 2 bits I'm going to the shifted. So and branch and see here what so BEQ BEQ what I'm going to applying if it is branch is taken condition is true. Branch is taken a condition is true na. So condition is true means it's not comma S1 if condition is true na move to the target. If condition is false na inside values will going to the execute. So if what I'm given is BEQ, condition is taken, branch is taken, condition is true. So condition is true purpose, and the processor will move into the target, and target is nothing but an add S1 comma S2 comma S naught. Now S1 S naught will go into the adding and then placing into the S1. In this way, the values will go into the generated. So if branch is not taken, if this is the example for the branch is taken, it is another example for a branch is not taken. So see, same I'm going to doing the add I operation, adding the 0 plus 4, and then add immediately operation, adding the 0 plus 1, and I'm going to apply the shift left operation, and next BNE. See here the previous example I'm taken as an BEQ. So when branch is taken, so and next coming to the BNE, if branch is not taken, if the condition is an false now, then I'm going to executing the what here add immediately I and subtract operation will go into the doing, and target will go into the not executing. So this is the branch taken example. Other one is an branch not taken example. And next moving to the unconditional branching and then jumping. So previous what we see in branch taken, branch not taken, both are for the conditional branching. And then next coming to the unconditional branching. So how we are going to implement the unconditional branching? Based on the jumping operation, we are going to use the unconditional branching. So first of all, I'm going to adding the same, that means of 0 and 4, assigning into the S0 register, and adding the 0 and 1 and assigning to the S1 register. So see here J. J is that if it is jump to target, if condition is true now, then moving to the target. If condition is false now, what will going to happen? So see here, if condition is true, for that reason, what happened? So S1 and S0 is added, and then we're going to place into the S1 only. So S1 value is then now 5, and remaining what here S or a shift right register is not executed. Add immediately is not executed. Subtraction is not executed. What I'm saying, understanding now. So if condition is true means jump move to the directly target, and it will going to implement the operation. Remaining statement is not is executed. So this is the example how the unconditional branching will go into the implemented. And next see high level code construct. How we are going to construct the high level code? So based on if statement, if else statement, while loop, for loop. So these are also very important. We are going to convert it to the mission level instruction. If statement, if else statement, while loop, and then for loop. So first condition, if we taken as an if statement, if the I equal to the j. So if I equal to the j means what happened? F equal to the g plus h will go into the run, and the same way f equal to the f minus I also be run. So why? Because now we are not using the else condition. Simply we given as a statement, we are going to running the statement. See how many registers are we are going to taking place here in this one. In the place of the f, first of all, f we taken as an s naught, and then g purpose we taken as an s1, h purpose we taken as an s2, and then I purpose we taken as an s3, and last j purpose we taken as an s4. Totally, we are going to using the 5 registers here. And next moving to the here, see, notice that assembly language test for the opposite case. So I not equal to j, then test is the high level code I equal to the j. So assembly language is only supporting for the BNE. So it is not if it support for the high level code. For that reason, we converted into the mission level language now. See, if I equal to the j, generally we take the here equal operation, but in our MAPS not supports the equal now. For that reason, simply I am taken as an BNE. BNE what here, what I am going to take as an S3 and S4. So S3 and S4 is S3 and S4 is not equal now. Directly moving to the label 1, label 1 will go into the executing. So if we come to the else condition, so how the else condition will be for the same statement, for the same statement we are going to implementing the else condition. So first of all, I'm going to the using the BNE. So S3 and S4 will go into the checking out. If S3 and S4 is equal, the add operation will be done, and then with moving to the operation will be the jump will be done. That means of move done, which moves to the done. What I'm saying, understanding now, see here. First, I'm going to check for the BNE operation. BNE, what branch not equal will go into the taken. So, what are the branch not equal? S3 and S4. If S3 and S4 not equal, na, directly moving to the label one. It's not a problem. BNE is equal, na. That means the condition is on false now, then where will go into the move, add operation will go into the executing here, S0 comma S1. So in the same way, we have the one of the high level code they given. What code they given? In pov equal to the one, and next one is that in x equal to the zero. The while condition will be given. So under the while condition, pov is not equal to the 108. So again we are going to that means if not equal to 108 now, inside statement will be run. If equal to 128 now, the inside statements cannot be run. The execution will go into the stopping. So here we having the same condition we converted into the mission level language point of view. So first of all, I'm going to read the values for this one registers are the. So for example, power point of I taken as an S0 register, and X point I'm taken as an S1 register. So two registers only we having S0 and a S1. So I'm going to adding immediately S0, and then one value will go into the assigning to our S0 register, and again I'm going to the zero value will going to assigning to the S1 register. What I'm going to giving, are you understanding ma? How we are going to do the assignment operation in mission instruction language? So previously we in normal level language we can give the assignment operator, and then we can do the assign value. But now coming to the in mission level language, we can't use the assignment operator. Just we do the memory transformation only. For that reason, one is there in the accumulator. For that one, I'm going to adding with the zero, and I'm moving the value to the and then F not register. We can directly move the by using the move operation are also no problem. But I'm taken as an here addition operation purpose na, taken as an add operation. So after I'm successfully completing the one assignment and zero assignment, I might taken temporary value for the 128, and then I'm assigned T not register the 128. So these two assignment is then I successfully completed. And when I move to the while instruction now, so how while will go into the generating. So for that reason I taken it then here BEQ. So what I'm saying understanding now, in high level language we having the equal operation. Now we taken it an opposite BNE. If it is having the not equal now, then we go to the opposite operation BEQ. So branch equal operation. So if while branch equal, so what will going to do branch, what values will go into the equal here? S naught and T naught. S naught value is then what here? S naught value will be the 1, and T naught value will be the 128. So if it is equal now, then SLL and ADDI will go into the run. If it is not equal now, then then where will going to the moving? It will going to moving to the done level. So in this way, the operations will go into the executing. So for example, we taken as an for loop condition. How the for loop will go into the defining. So inside the for loop, we taken as an initialization, condition, loop operation. Initialization is an execute before the loop begins. Condition is an tested at the begin at which iteration. So loop operation is an execute at end of the each iteration. Loop body is an execute the each time the condition is, will be met. So this is the high level code for the for level for loop. So for loop is also be same we taken it then here BQ. So if the condition is true now, the add operations will go in, inside operations will go into the run. If it is not work now, then directly move to the done operation. So today's class is an just we discussed about the MIPS instruction conversion. So You have any doubts now?